we're very excited to talk with you and have a wonderful panel discussion and to brainstorm about ways that you can move forward in supporting entrepreneurship and using your creative ideas and make your dreams become reality.
I think I'm going to start by saying there's a bias to what ideas are appealing to those with money to invest in. So at the moment, we know that agriculture has got a lot of funding, whether we like it or not. And as a youth, a lot of youth are not into agriculture. A lot of youth are doing digital innovation. A lot of youth are doing entertainment, like music and all that kind of stuff. But you barely see private sector or the organizations out there that are investing in young businesses, investing in such. They think it's a hobby. They say that actually when you go to them and tell them that I want to start a business and it involves maybe creatives or musicians or people who draw and stuff like that. They think, no, that's a hobby. Even when you are charging as an entrepreneur who goes to do maybe digital, Hastings here is my, he can also testify to that. When you tell them the price, that this is how much I charge as a digital entrepreneur, they look at you funny like, that camera, you just hold that thing for like 2 hours and you're charging 500,000. Why should I give you 500,000? So there's that bias. They think agriculture, people are putting in a lot of work than someone who comes with a camera. But they're forgetting that entertainment needs these things. We need them. So maybe if we can have a way to sensitize the people what these things mean, because there's also a lack of knowledge to a certain extent for people to understand. So if people don't understand how these products are working, then that usability is not going to be there. So we're going to have all these apps, we're going to have people creating things, and to a certain extent you get stuck. And a lot of young people I know have left the entrepreneurship and they've started working a 9 to 5. Not that they want to work there, but they're thinking about how am I going to survive. So we need to start with sharing this information so that the people should know what it means to migrate from what we're doing as in terms of analog systems to digital systems. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck. The Malawian youth has to know that sometimes you just have to start. No one is going to come for you. No one is going to come and give you $1,000 just like that. That I think this is one of the things that we need to start understanding now. The way things are working, no one is coming to help you. And I took an advantage when COVID came through. And I remember I just posted a gadget on my Twitter feed and said, I can do live streaming for you if you need a virtual event. I started getting calls for virtual events. Trust me, I didn't know how I was going to do it because at that time, I only had a phone and that gadget that I posted on Twitter. In my head, I just knew that I can be able to do it if an opportunity comes through. Fast forward now, we're the ones who are doing the event online right now. We're the ones sending this event on Facebook. We managed to buy cameras and all that kind of stuff. Nobody came and said, KB, I see that you've got this idea. I'm going to give you this money to buy cameras. I was going with a phone, like meeting CEOs with a phone. They would tell me, we want live streaming, and I would go there with the phone, and they would look at me funny, like, you're going to live stream with the phone? And I'll be like, yeah, it's going to be possible. There were softwares that I could connect my phone to my laptop, and my laptop would stream. How I learned about that, that's another point that I wanted to say about the youth. Learn as much as you can. Go on YouTube. This information that we need right now, you won't find it in our colleges, unfortunately, because the colleges are still backwards. I was at uni. I was at the Malawi University, Polytechnic. I did IT. But trust me, the time that I was there, the computers that we were using, Analama Pentium, that time. And by that time, it was i3. People had progressed. I don't know about now, but what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of information on YouTube that you can go there, look. If you're doing agriculture, search what your friends are doing. Expose yourself. I studied a lot of things. We call it the University of YouTube in Malawi. That's what we call it, because we know that a lot of information that we need as Malawians right now would be found there. you know. And the other thing that I wanted to say, consistency is key, you know. Because we are marginalized. Yes, they say we are the leaders of tomorrow. Until now, they're still believing that we're the leaders of tomorrow. That's why they are not giving us a lot of opportunities, and they won't for I think for a bit. Maybe in the next 2 years, maybe they'll start trusting us with opportunities. But as for now, be consistent. Consistency, to some extent, people will stop ignoring you if they see you keep doing your thing. I can testify to that. I started doing my things in 2012. And at some point, I thought maybe people are not noticing. But when it started like trending, it was all over the place. So brand yourself as much as you can. Right now, people are living with a short attention span. We are just doing this on our phones, like scrolling. So you need to think of ways to make someone stop. When they're doing that on their phone, they should stop on your post. What is that thing that can make someone stop and look at the product that you're offering? It's all about branding. The other thing is, don't wait for someone. I've already talked about that. Spread your net wide. Malawi is not your destination only. Think of ways how you can export. It is possible. I've seen people who are doing that. You know, right now people are selling suitcase space. So if I've got clothes I want to send to UK, because DHL is so expensive and people have noticed that we cannot deliver stuff outside of Malawi. It's too much expensive. I charge a t-shirt 16,000 kwacha. I went to DHL, I wanted it to send it to USA. They told me that it's going to cost me 46,000 kwacha. So 16,000 kwacha is what I'm selling. 46,000 kwacha is what it will cost me to deliver. Am I going to do it? I told the customer that, I say, it won't be possible. I can't spend 46 grand to deliver something that is 16,000 kwacha. So they understood. And I got to learn, because I had to find a way. How do I do this? If someone wants my clothes in UK, how do I do it? And then my aunt told me that, you know what, you can buy suitcase space. So when these people come from UK and they're going back, they buy suitcases. And you pay £100 to get that suitcase, and you can load it with so many things as you want. So these are things that are happening, but they're within forums that you'll be able to know about if you talk to a lot of Malawians and networking. Going back to what she said, networking is very important. Network. Come here, ask there's a lot of information even here. Come and ask all these opportunities. I went to Yali because I thought I would go and be challenged by what my fellow friends are doing within Africa. And that's what happened. He's gone there. She's done the program. All of us here have done programs. And I was asking Leroy, the guy on the laptop there, I asked him, do you know about Yali? You need to go for this thing. He said, what is Yali? So he's right here. I asked him today, actually. He's right here, and he doesn't know about Yali. So there's that lack of knowledge. People don't know what's going on. 2 weeks ago, we had this event, International Internet Global Forum. We were the ones doing the virtual event. But it was sad that a lot of young people didn't know about it. But we had a lot of young people from all over Africa. They actually flew to Malawi, Ghana, talk about Madagascar. Everyone was here. So I asked this, we were in contact with the people that are organizing. I asked them, so what is this thing? It's the first time that I heard about it. They're like, how is it possible that it's the first time you're hearing about it? It's big. And I went online. There are hashtags. There are young people all over, CEOs, young people that are doing these programs. But how come we don't know about these things? We are busy with useless things. TikToks, twerking, what, all these things. That's what we're posting on our TikTok. If you go on a Malawian TikTok page, trust me, that's what you're going to see. We don't have a lot of podcasts. Big shout out to a lot of people that are doing podcasts now that are sharing information. But we are busy with things that can just get us that instant fame. Let me just say it like this. We need to start thinking of ways on how we can compete on a global scale. And that means we have to find ways to add value to our product. We are going digital, whether we like it or not. So our infrastructure, like Malawi in general, doesn't allow us to trade to a certain extent. I'll tell you 2 scenarios. First of all, we can't monetize our content, whether we like it or not now. A lot of our friends are doing it. South Africa, Zambia, everywhere else. Here it's impossible. So I can create a music video or a podcast, and it can generate thousands or millions of views in Malawi, but I'll get nothing out of it, because when you go to YouTube and then you try to apply for it, it tells you this is not available in your country. You know why? Because our country, they can do it. I think the government has got the mandate to actually be able to lobby for us to be able to do that kind of business online. Malawi kunogo, we don't have access to do that kind of business online. So maybe if we can look into policies that can enable us to really be able to compete with our friends online, and that is as simple as creating content. For example, Gides Chalamanda, he trended. He had 50 million views on TikTok. Yeah. But later on, what happened? We did campaigns to raise funds to help Gides Chalamanda because he's struggling as an artist. So imagine an artist who's doing 50 million views and is still broke. Yeah. That's the country that we're living in. Yeah. Because TikTok will tell you you can't make money in Malawi. APIs, can I just talk about, sorry, API. If you do an app, for example, and you want to be able to have your customers buy your honey using Airtel money, you can't do that, because Airtel money, you have to apply to Airtel. They should give you an API, so that API can enable you to have access to make trade with your customers. Yeah. But for me as a young entrepreneur, to go to TNM to get that API is difficult. So can we have access to these things that can enable us to actually trade online? First of all, I'm going to answer the question like, how can we save to grow? You asked me. There's this podcast that I watched. This guy always says, cash is trash. What he means by that is that don't keep your money in the bank. But with devaluation, if you keep it there for 2-3 months, the value goes down. So what I've learned to do within the years is to always find ways to add value to the business. Either buy equipment, buy assets if you can, because you can resell it and make money, make your money back and invest back in your business. The problem that we have, a lot of us young people, is when we make that cash, we want to floss. Like what she's saying, let me get a Beamer. Forget about the status. If you're growing a business, buy things that will move the business. The other question, I'll finish with the last question. Have we pushed the government as entrepreneurs to maybe negotiate with Google and YouTube so that we can be able to monetize these things? I would say yes and no. Yes, because I feel like the government doesn't have to be pushed anyway. All these other countries, like in Africa, they know that these things are supposed to enable the growth of the economy of the country. So it is their mandate. But also, yes, we have the responsibility to push them. That's where we are lacking as young people, because we talk about it a lot. Like this forum, we are going to talk about this, complain about it, but then the action. So maybe we should discuss how we can do that and talk to the government, put them to task. I'm also a full-time entrepreneur. Actually, I quit my job in 2016 because I thought I was way ahead of the game than where I was working. My goals are simple. I feel like Malawi is talented, and my drive has always been to be able to help create platforms where Malawi creatives can be seen outside of this country. That's why the I'm from Malawi brand that I have. The story behind that is that when we go outside of the country, people always are ashamed to say that I am from Malawi. I wanted to change that. When they should see what we do and they should ask, where are you from? How come are you able to do all these cool things? And I should be proudly able to say that I am from Malawi. Google it. Thank you.
Thank you.